Hello and welcome to today's pandemic update for Friday, July 22nd, 2022. Most of the country remains in high or substantial transmission. That's 97% of all counties that are either in high or substantial transmission of COVID-19. The BA.5 variant makes up 77.9% of the cases. The BA.4 variant makes up 12.8% of the cases. BA.2.12.1, 8.6%. And the BA.2 variant still makes up just about 0.5%. Cases. There were a lot of cases reported today. An additional 174,299 cases were added today. Now keep in mind, some of this is because California did their multi-day total, which accounts for quite a few cases. Now we come over to deaths. 604 new deaths were added today. That's up 0.7% over last week. And about deaths, there was a statement made during the White House press briefing today by Dr. Akish Jha. He said we are down to the point where we have almost prevented every death of COVID from an infection. Hello, we've added 604 new deaths today. That's not true. We've added somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 deaths so far this week. So, and you're telling me we're almost preventing every death. Well, if that was the case, the weekly death amount would be under 100 in my book, and it's not there yet. Moving on. Test. 903,000 tests added today, so that's a slightly better number. Still would like to see that over 1 million, though. Hospital situation. Hospitalizations were actually down slightly today, not only on the B&O count, but also on HHS. B&O has 43,024 hospitalizations. That's down by 427. ICUs were up by only 1. They sit at 4,902. Taking a look at the HHS hospitalizations for today, you will see 43,646 people are in the hospital. 77.39% of all beds are used, and 5.76% of the beds are used for coronavirus. Going back to the map, today's map shows that generally the majority of the country is starting to level off. Not seeing as many places rise. Some places are dropping. Some places are still rising. New York State's up 28%. That's still a good fair amount. And it seems like the biggest increase right now is from the Great Lakes on over to the Northeast. Everywhere else, it's pretty much leveled off. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in August. Perhaps we're coming to the backside of the BA.5 wave, but I don't want to say that yet. It's too soon. Give it a couple more weeks. Some countries did have a relatively fast BA.5 wave, Germany being one of them. And now Germany is, they're starting to rise again. So this could go in any direction still. Looking at some of today's numbers. California, another 69,773 cases. That's a multi-day total, but that's a lot of cases. And keep in mind, Los Angeles is considering bringing back a mask mandate. From my opinion, they should have done that already because, I mean, the cases have been high for multiple weeks. Why didn't they start that sooner? Now they're going to start it right at the point where cases may eventually start dropping. So they would have already dropped, but would have been better if they had already got it going. Texas, 12,288 cases today. Speaking of Texas, let's come over here to the Texas state positivity. 30.87% positive today. Taking a look at the hospital situation in Texas, 3,510 people are in the hospital. That is up a little bit from yesterday. Florida, 12,270 new cases. New York State, 7,600 new cases. 7,692, almost 7,700 new cases today. Speaking of New York State, their positivity today is at 8.7%. And looking at the New York State hospitalizations, they're relatively flat over yesterday. They just dropped ever so slightly. I don't know if I believe this number or not, because this is the second week in a row where they've had multiple days where it just flattens, then they don't report, and then all of a sudden, oh, hello, a big rise comes. 2,629 people in the hospital in New York State. Continuing on with our state count. Illinois, 5,200 new cases today. Pennsylvania, 2,900 new cases. New Jersey, 4,300 new cases. New Jersey's actually trending higher. Like I said, the Northeast states, they're still trending higher. Pennsylvania is higher as well. Tennessee, 3,400. Virginia, 3,600. Indiana, 5,716 new cases today. Let's just briefly take a look at Indiana here. I would hope that's a yeah, it is. It's a multi-day total, but they are definitely still rising. And we'll do a couple more states here. Washington State, 5,900 new cases. Kentucky, 5,700 new cases. Utah, I believe this is a weekly total, 6,800 new cases. And finally, let's look at Puerto Rico. Yet again, another high day in Puerto Rico. 3,160 cases added. Coming over here to the old Walgreens map. Taking a look at Walgreens today. New Hampshire is rising. They're up 5% for a 24% positivity. West Virginia has been rising. We've been watching this. 35.8% positive in West Virginia. Florida, 37.5% positive. Texas on the Walgreens count is 43.6% positive. And Washington State, 30.7% positive. We'll do two more. North Dakota, 26.9% positive. And finally, Arkansas, 32.9% positive. All that makes up for a national positivity of 37.1%. Coming over here to the worldwide data. And today around the world, it's kind of a mixed bag of things today. India reported 14,000 more cases. Brazil reported another 49,000 cases. But look at France. France is slightly down again. 74,348 new cases. We haven't had many days this week where they're over 100,000, so that's a good sign. And I should add, quickly going back to Brazil, another 275 deaths added in Brazil. And look at Italy. 71,000 new cases, 155 new deaths. South Korea, 68,000 new cases, 31 new deaths. Spain, 24,000 new cases. And here's that number from yesterday I was talking about. Japan, 180,826 cases. This is the BA.5 variant in Japan. This is very serious. And I do believe they have a mask mandate, so what the heck is going on there? Is it because they don't have much prior immunity? Yeah, I don't know, and they've also had 38 new deaths today, so their deaths are starting to creep up a little bit. Australia added another 53,247 cases and 64 deaths. Mexico added 33,660 cases with another 115 deaths. All right, the monkeypox outbreak. Here's where we stand. It was a relatively high case day around the world. Spain reported 147 cases. United States added 298 cases. And remember, not sure you've heard this or not, 2 cases were identified in children today in the United States. Bad sign. Some schools start school in the South in just a couple weeks. Germany, 77 cases. UK, 71 cases. France, 114 cases. Brazil, 89 cases. And Canada, 77 cases. So it was a relatively high case day around the world. And monkeypox is definitely still on the accelerator. It's still spreading relatively quick. All right, my daily reminders for you today. Continue to mask and social distance. Wear gloves when possible at grocery stores and getting gas. And remember, don't do anything silly that's going to cause you to catch coronavirus, like large gatherings, weddings, all that stuff that I mention all the time. Conventions. Now's not the time. We're in a really high rate of transmission. And if you've been a person that has not been infected for the 2.5 years this pandemic's been going on, don't go out and risk it all now and get an infection and possibly long COVID or death. It does still happen. Yeah. So, okay, that's all for today. And remember, we're all in this together. Stay safe and have a great weekend, everyone. We'll do another one of these videos again tomorrow. Remember to hit like and subscribe down below.